What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Entre Mike back with the Entre short for entrepreneur. And in this video, we're going to go over what we do every year, at least one time a year, and that is how to start a hotshot business step by step. So this is going to be probably the most in-depth video I've ever done when it comes to hotshot trucking. I don't sell any courses. I don't sell any mentorship programs. So if you guys want to do me a favor, like this video because it's going to take me a few hours to not only record but edit this video and get it out for you guys. So make sure you guys drop a like before we get started. Now let's go over what we're actually going to be getting into with this video. All right, in this video we're going to be going over how to get your LLC and EIN number step by step. We're going to go over financing versus renting your equipment if renting is still a possibility. We're going to go over the things you should consider before buying equipment, whether it's CDL, non-CDL, what kind of equipment you need for tying down your cargo. We're going to go through the entire FMCSA application step by step. We're going to go over how you can get your BC3 and UCR, how you can get an insurance quote done by filling out an insurance quote form. We're going to go over the best ELD electronic logging device service, which is required if you're traveling outside of a 150-mile radius. We're going to go over freight factoring and fuel cards, who are the best in the industry and how you can get them. We're going to go over the best load boards for booking hotshot freight in this video. And then we got the best timeline. So I'm going to have a generic timeline that you guys can follow because it's a ton of information. There will also be a link tree that we're going to go ahead and go over on how you can get each and every one of these bits of information in one place. All right, guys. So in each and every one of my videos, there's going to be a spot either in the comment section or the description that has my link tree on it. And if you don't want to watch this whole entire video, because it's going to be at least an hour long, this is where you can find the links for the discounts for every service we're going to go over in this description box. Like I said, all of these are trusted partners that I have used myself in this business. But as well as this, like if you want to watch the video and follow along with me, people love doing it. I do this every single year, like I said, and I never have any complaints. And every single year we push it further on how in depth we can go. So there are literally no excuses to not be able to do this yourself because all the links that you're going to need are going to be on this link tree to follow along. All right. So let's go ahead and hop into the first part, which is starting your LLC and EIN here with Busy. You'll click this link. It'll take you over to the right page. You can either go through here and read it, or you can hit get started right here. For me, I'm just going to go through an example of if I was setting up my business, right? I'm going to hit LLC, limited liability company, and go to Georgia. Now, the reason why you want to have an LLC is because you don't want to have everything in your personal name, acting as a sole proprietor in your business, because you're not protecting yourself. You're not protecting your business. You're not protecting your personal assets when you don't have an LLC. So by doing this, we're doing that. And there is a fee associated with it if you want to get it quicker than the normal 4-week process. Me personally, I've done 3 LLCs through Busy with the premium package. The reason why is because I can do it in 3 business days. Usually when I'm talking to my clients, time is always an issue for you guys, right? You guys want to get into this industry now, or you want to start setting up the steps. But honestly, there is no step that you can do besides maybe consulting, right? But getting your LLC and EIN number. And this fee right here, in my opinion, is very reasonable. Now, it does depend on the state that you're coming from because some states are higher. But me personally in Georgia, it's not that expensive. I go with the premium package every single time just so I can go ahead and get my banking resolution and I can go ahead and open up my business bank account. But we'll get into that a little bit deeper later. So we'll go ahead and hit premium and get started. We can do something generic like let's do, oh my bad. Let's do Entre Mike Trucking LLC. To do something generic. Now, right here, it's going to ask you to use a virtual address. And just being completely honest, if I were you, coming from an insurance agent perspective, I would use my own address. I would use the address that's on my driver's license number, especially if you're still living there, if you don't want any confusion. Virtual addresses usually have issues when it comes to getting your paperwork or audits from the FMCSA. It also has, we've had issues when acquiring a truck and needing the tabs, I'm sorry, and needing the tags shipped out to our house. If we had a virtual address on file and they sent it there, they would usually return it. So they usually cause more harm than good. And honestly, they are going to upcharge for it. But if you're just one of those guys who are really against like privacy and wanting your address protected, you could use it for your mailing address. But like I said, I would use my own address, honestly. Come on. This is where you want to select the number of members. So if you guys are going to have multiple business partners, you would put 2 or 3 or however many you want to do. Me personally, for this example, I'm going to do myself. And then as far as the registered agent, they do it for the first year free. So, I mean, I would go ahead and do it. I am a foreign individual and do not have a social security number. No, you are from here, more than likely, if you're watching this video. All right. Boom. All right. And they actually do have they have a partnership with Bank of America. If you got your own bank, you do not have to go with this. We can go ahead and go into a business bank account now. Me personally, when I got into Hotshot trucking myself, I went with a local credit union. I know a lot of guys love Navy Federal, Bank of America, Chase. Any big banks, guys are usually pretty comfortable with as well. But um, me personally, I always heard good things about using a credit union. They're usually more risk adverse than bigger banks. But you know, that is your decision on who you want to go with. I don't have any really um heavy opinions on it. The only thing I can say for the big banks is that they're more accessible. So if you're going to be over the road and for whatever reason you just need to, you know, go to the bank, it'll be easier for you having a big name. So let's go ahead and get to the rest of the video. But yeah, if you don't want to do it, you can just say no, not at this time, and move on and have your own banking. So, and then they'll also have like a tax strategy free consultation for this. If you're not interested, you could just put you're not interested at the time. And boom, this is where you're going to complete and pay and get your LLC done, right? So this wasn't super complicated, right? But you'd be surprised how many people are really nervous when it comes to filling out paperwork for your LLC and EIN number. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, you fill it out, you pay, you get your LLC and EIN in the next 3 business days because they do it and they expedite it for you. We'll just touch over this really quickly because I don't think there'll be as many opportunities as you guys think. Now, I do have a relationship with Top Mark Funding, where they're usually able to help with funding for any equipment that doesn't fly or float, right? So Hotshot trucks and trailers do fall into that category. If you guys want a business lending quote or just to kind of see where you be as far as a lending amount, you guys can check that out in the description with the Top Mark Funding. So on the link tree, where is the funding? Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Yeah. So truck financing quote with Top Mark Funding. You'll just go in here, fill in your first name, last name, email, and phone number, and then it'll be a credit profile check right there. Like it says, no hard inquiries, no impact on your credit. So if you want to fill that out, go for it. Get an idea of what equipment financing will look like for you. Just being completely honest, in my opinion, I think you're gonna have, if you don't have any existing business credit, your personal credit will probably allow you to get a better deal on a dually or a 2500. But for my box trucks, this is something that's usually pretty helpful. So I just wanted to throw that out there that it is an option if your bank is not giving you a shot, that this is like a third party lender that you can at least apply for to see. And then we're going to go ahead and hop into things to consider, right? So This is probably my favorite part of the video, whereas we haven't done anything too tedious just yet, but I want to go over different equipment types, different types of equipments for tie downs, so you can get an idea of what you should be looking for when purchasing a truck. All right, guys, this guy flying off the truck, that loser right there, that is me back in 2021, probably the end of 2021 into 2022. But yeah, as you can see, I got two Dodge Rams right there. On the right, that's a 2018 Tradesman. I call it Ruby. I mean, it was just such a pretty truck, very standard. I think it came with 100K miles. Probably got it for around 30 grand. It wasn't horrible. Then on the left, you got the 2022 Laramie, right? You got a more. Both of these are 3500s, by the way, dual lease. Um, and it was a better ride, better suspension. Um, Overall, it rolled better, but it did have more DPF issues. Those fifth generation Rams, really anything after 2019, 2020, those trucks have worse DPF issues. Whereas the Generation 4, I believe, is from like 2015 to 2019, 2018. Those trucks ran great. Like I never had any issues with Ruby. But as far as the Laramie, even with less miles driven, I would have more DPF issues. Now, I can't speak on the Fords. I have heard good things about the new Fords. Anything Ford, you guys kind of know how that goes as far as maintenance. I'm not going to go too deep into detail on that. So as far as a truck, I want you guys to do more research on that yourself. Find a good mechanic to see if, um, you know, see if Fords are a better fit than Dodge Rams. But I'll be honest, as far as the most common is going to be the Dodge Ram or the Ford. But the most common is going to be the Dodge Ram 2500 if you're non-CDL. And if you're CDL, the Dodge Ram 3500. Now, why did I go with 3500 when I started off non-CDL? It's because I knew at some point I was going to advance into CDL equipment. So I went ahead with the dually as the first purchase. And as far as the price difference, at least back then, it wasn't as severe as most would think. Probably like a 5K difference, 10K difference, depending on mileage. So, yeah. So if you're thinking at some point that you're going to go into CDL Hotshot, it's not any financial advice, but I would go with the dually because a single, rear wheel truck trying to haul a 12K axle trailer is going to be a mess. All right. So let's just go ahead and get into the next slide, though. We can go ahead and go into this part right here. Where will you find your freight, right? Now, I don't have Central Dispatch on here, but Central Dispatch will be a great load board to find you some backhauls with like a few cars. So keep that in mind that if you're doing auto hauling, this is kind of catered to general freight haulers, that Central Dispatch is going to be your best friend. But as far as my general freight guys who are on the 40-foot deck, 35-foot deck, whatever you end up choosing, you need to get the 40-foot trailer. We're not going to go too deep into that, but Truck Stop and DAT are going to be your best fit, right? Truck Stop is better for all open deck freight, whereas DAT1 is better for your dry van and reefer. Right? And I have a link for Truck Stop Pro discount in the description. Shout out to Nate at Truck Stop. I've been wanting to use that plushie toy for a minute, man. All right, now we're going to go over non-CDL trailer versus CDL trailers, right? It's all based on gross vehicle weight rating. You will never find a non-CDL trailer with more than 8K axles. At that point, it's no point in derating the trailer due to the weight, right? And then I have on here, if you see a trailer with dual tires on each side, 100% CDL trailer to keep it simple, right? So you can see right here where you got the single rear wheel and you got the dual wheels. And usually they have way bigger axles than the single. All right, so to keep this simple, let's go over the GVWR rules in a simple layman's term, not the real technical axle weights and everything, right? In order to stay on under non-CDL compliance and regulations, your gross vehicle weight rating of your combination vehicle, meaning your truck and trailer, cannot exceed 26,000 pounds, right? So if you're 26,001, that's CDL equipment. So in order to do that, your truck should be no more than 14K GVWR. So that exits out, the 4,500 or 5,500. So the Ram 3,500, I believe, is like the biggest GVWR for a dually truck, and it's usually 14K GVWR, right? So common sense says, math says we have to be at 12, right? But there are no 12K GVWR trailers that you can haul with a 40-foot Hotshot. The smallest is going to be a 7K axle trailer, which is 14K GVWR. 14 plus 14 is 28,000. So we got a problem. That's where derating the trailer comes into play. So usually your 40-foot trailer in a non-CDL setup is going to look like this. 40-foot, hopefully it's got at least the mega ramps instead of these like pull out small ramps, right? You don't want these. And the GVWR for this trailer is usually going to be anywhere from 14,000 to as high as sometimes like 17,000, maybe even 18,000 GVWR. But luckily, if you get it new, some guys already do this if they're non-CDL, you can get it derated to 12,000. So that means that everything about the trailer is the same. The axle, leaf spring, brakes, everything is the exact same. The size is the same. They just changed the sticker in order to make it compliance, and so you're hauling the right rate. Hauling the right weight. But when you take away from that GVWR, you're also taking away from your weight capacity that you can haul, right? So let's say the amount of weight that you can haul on a truck and trailer setup, combination vehicle, is the GVWR of the combination vehicle. So let's go with the non-CDL versus CDL route, like on a 14K, on a 7K axle trailer. Right, you got your dually at 14K and you got your trailer at 14K, you're at 28K. You're going to weigh your truck and trailer with all your equipment. Let's say you weigh, 18,000 pounds with both. Let's just put a number out there. If you weigh 18,000 pounds with your truck and your trailer, let's say it's a dually and a non-CDL trailer, right? You can only haul at 28,000 GVWR, 10,000 pounds. But if you get that truck and trailer derated, if you get that trailer derated to 12K instead of 14K, now you're taking off 2,000 pounds that you can haul, because you're the same truck and trailer that weighs 18,000 pounds, but your GVWR is 26,000. So 26,000 minus 18,000 is 8,000 pounds. That's why it's super important that you weigh your truck and trailer when you get it, even when you get it derated, to make sure you know how much you can haul. So a lot of guys will get confused with that. I hope I didn't confuse you with the math. I may put something up on the screen to make it a little bit more simple, but I hope you guys got the point. And then we're going to quickly go through the different types of trailers. I've done videos like this before, but it's been a while, right? So we got the 35 plus 5 over here on the left, right? We got the 40-foot of full deck slide out ramps in the middle, and then we got the hydraulic dovetail on the right. Most guys go with this trailer, right? The 35 plus 5, that's what I have for both of my setups. It keeps you pretty diverse, right? You can see the comments on here. It's great for heavy duty equipment. It's good for general freight. Budget friendly. You can haul 2 vehicles on it. 40-foot slide out. The 40 feet of full deck slide out ramps that can attach on the end is arguably a better trailer for general freight. I wouldn't say for any type of vehicles, right? And it's harder for heavier vehicles. Like it's heavier for a dually. It's heavier for a tractor, a skid steer. It's possible, but it's harder. It's still pretty budget friendly. And like I said, it's limited on heavy duty equipment due to them having to pull out ramps instead of mega ramps. The hydraulic dovetail, great all around trailer. There's not much that you can't do with it. It's not budget friendly, and it's going to be more overall maintenance due to there being more moving parts and electronics. And yeah, and I don't have this on the screen, but I want you guys to heavily weigh out having an air ride trailer, because having an air ride trailer will open up availability for freight for by at least another 20 to 30% nowadays. So having an air ride trailer is not a hard need, but it will make your life a whole lot easier, whether you're partial in freight, taking full truckloads. Because some of these shippers would, I don't know, AC units or something like glass, they want it to be on air ride trailers. All right. That won't be most of the industry, but it will be a decent amount that's annoying enough when you start booking freight to get air ride. And notice how all of these examples, I don't have it here. I have 40 feet for like all of them. Get a 40-foot trailer. Trust me. If you go out there with a 30 plus 5, a 35-foot trailer, your life is going to be way harder than a guy with a 40-foot trailer. I don't care if you got a 35-foot trailer and you can haul 12,000 pounds, you're going to get less freight than somebody with a 40-foot trailer who can haul 7,000 pounds. Just trust me on that. You want that 40-foot trailer to have more access to more loads. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and go over equipment that you're going to need, right? So we got 10 to 20 30-foot ratchet straps that you're going to need with edge protectors. So I don't have edge protectors on the screen, but this can be something as simple as like carpet that you pulled apart, or like the literal edge protectors that they sell on my T products or truck stops. So check my T products. I'll have a link for them in the description too. I can literally add that to the link tree. I don't know why I don't have it on there, but they'll usually have all of this all these screenshots came from my T products, and it's where I actually order my equipment too. Because if you go to the stores and the truck stops, if you go to Home Depot to go buy some chains, you're going to get wrecked as far as price. It's convenient, but it's going to cost more. But as far as the ratchet straps, you want 2-inch ratchet straps and 4-inch ratchet straps. That way, depending on how big the load is, and then the bigger ones usually can secure more weight. Get sliding winches welded on if possible. So I'm speaking on the tracks on the side of the actual trailer. You'll save so much time just going out there, and throwing those across and tighten them, versus for every single one, you got to take the ratchet and, instead of for everyone, you got to take the strap, throw it over the freight, and then ratchet it down individually. You're going to be wasting time for no reason. So it's the difference between you taking 15 minutes on a load, 10 minutes on a load versus 30, right? And time is money. Either way, have a minimum of 10 ratchet straps. Now, as far as your chains, you want to have 4 to 8 5/16 grade 70 chains and ratchet binders. At least 4, but 8 would be where you're not going to miss out on any opportunities on a 40-foot trailer. You can also do 3/8 chains, but they're way heavier and usually you'll never have to use them. 5/16 grade 70, unless you're doing CDL Hotshot and you're going to be hauling some heavy behind stuff, 5/16 grade 70 chains are more than enough. All right. And you're going to need 4 to 8 foot drop tarps. All right. So I got the best type right here, the super light 14-ounce steel tarps that are 16 by 27. And all this means is the 16 by 27 means it's 8 feet in the middle. You're going to have a 4-foot drop on that side and 4-foot drop on this side. So know how to read this number. 27 is the length and this is the width. But you need to know, that it goes 8 feet across and it's going to drop 4 and drop 4, and that gets you to 16. So you need some 4-foot drop tarps, and I would say start off maybe with a 6-foot drop tarp, maybe to get used to it, and then go with an 8-foot drop tarp. Because if you're brand new, you're not going to be able to, in my opinion, but you're not going to be able to secure an 8-foot drop load unless you know what you're doing. It's going to be a mess. And then you're going to need bungees to secure the the parts of the tarp. I can't think of the rings, D rings. Yeah, you're gonna have to put the bungees through the D rings to connect them to each other to keep the tarp stable. All right, and that's good. All right, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying your training lesson. So we are probably not even halfway through the video yet. We got to go ahead and start the FMCSA application before you guys end up going to sleep. This application usually takes, if you do it by yourself, 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to rush through it and try to do it in 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes if I'm explaining some things. And I've done it at this point tens of times, if not 100 times. So it's pretty cut and dry. You shouldn't have any questions after doing it. If you do, though, just drop a comment. No problem with that. All right, guys, we are on the FMCSA dot.gov website. This is what it should look like, right? FMCSA.dot.gov. If you're not here, you're not on the right website. So we're gonna go. Let me see. All right, my bad. We're gonna go to registration and we're gonna hit apply for a new US DOT number and or authority. So let me quickly go over this before we move forward. You got a DOT number, you got an MC number. Your DOT number, Department of Transportation number, allows you to haul freight within state lines. So in your state, if I'm in Georgia and I got a dump truck business, and I weigh over 10,000 gross vehicle weight, I'm required to have a DOT number. But if I want to cross state lines, interstate lines, like I said, and go interstate instead of intrastate, and cross over into Alabama, Tennessee, Ohio, Illinois, I got to have an MC number, a motor carrier number. So doing this application will allow you access to both. I would heavily, unless you guys know for a fact, like I'm going to be within state lines, get an MC number. Because a lot of people make this mistake. They say to themselves, well, when I start off, Mike, I'm gonna stay within the state and I'm gonna book my loads and I'm gonna make sure I stay within the state of Texas. And then they're not even able to get on a freight load board because you need an active MC number in order to do it. You can't even book a load with most freight brokers because they want to see your MC active for a certain amount of time. So go ahead and get your MC and DOT number. The DOT number is free. The MC number is the part that costs $300 of this application. Get your motor carrier number. Get the MC number. Get it. I'm trying to help. I would not make a video hours long if I didn't want to help. I want y'all to think about that. Just take that with a grain of salt. So we're going to hit take me to login. And you're going to create an account real quick, right? You're going to go here, put your email. It's going to send you a code. You put it in, and then you're going to log in. All right. And we're on the FMCSA application. And this is always the first question. Are you a third-party service provider? No. Are you submitting a new application? We are doing new application. It's going to talk about URS. If you want to do it the quick way, you're going to follow Mike and you're going to skip this. If you want to do your own due diligence and read this information, go ahead, go for it. I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. But all you're going to need is your LLC name, EIN number. You would need your social only if you were doing a sole proprietor. Dun and Bradstreet number is optional. This is like for your credit. And then company officers with title. So you guys already have this information if you did the first step, right? So yeah, you will need your LLC information. So this is kind of like 3 days fast forward after you did your LLC. This is going to be the part you want to pay attention to. All right. See what we got. Gonna keep skipping through. It's going to talk about the oaths until we get to here. Now, this application ID, you can copy this, put it in your notes. All accounts have 30 days from the start of the application to complete their URS application. That's all it's saying. So this is like your Apple application ID. Let's see, applicant contact. So that's what we're going to do first. Going to put in your contact information. I'm gonna click this and you're gonna put company owner. All right. All right. And then applicant contact preferred method, I would do both. So email and US mail. That way you're protected. Then you're going to hit next. This is just them saying they're going to use the USPS to see your address, then confirm it. All right. Business description. The FMCSA needs to capture the business details regarding the applicant. Does the applicant have a Dun & Bradstreet number? So if you have your Dun & Bradstreet number applied, you'll put yes and then enter it. If not, put no. Legal business name. So where you'll put your name that you got from Busy. DBA. This is blank. Do not touch it. Don't put NA or nothing. You see the yellow is already highlighted. This was if it was different from your legal business name. Do not put a DBA. Trust me. Because what a lot of you guys do is you'll put the same LLC name in here, and then it creates a mess on every other application you can think of. So don't put DBA. Is the applicant's principal place of business address the same as the applicant's contact address? So if that address that you put down on the last slide was the same as the like your contact address, you want to put yes here. All right, and now it's asking for a phone number again. Be aware there are going to be a lot of scammers and people who are acting like the FMCSA that's going to call you and tell you that everything is wrong, right? But, you know, that's what comes with the playing field. So this is your EIN number. You want to put, like I said, if you went through Busy, you're going to have all that information. You'll plug it in. It's usually a 9-digit number. Is the applicant a unit of government? No. You are a limited liability company. I'm going to come here, click next. You are owned and controlled by a citizen of the United States. And guess what? I'm going to hit this right here, company contact, and you're going to put your same information in. A lot of people think that this is very scary. It's not scary at all. For title, you want to put owner. Guess what? Another telephone number. And you're going to hit next. All right, we just got done confirming all the addresses and stuff. So now we're going to go over operation classification. Will you be operating as an intermodal equipment provider? No, you're not doing intermodal. No. Will the applicant transport property? Yes. It's usually, I think, the only one you're going to click yes for. Oh, except for this one. Will the applicant receive compensation when you get paid for transporting the property to others? Yes. What type of property will the applicant transport? I'm going to put other non-hazardous freight. Will the applicant transport non-hazardous materials across state lines, otherwise known as interstate commerce? Yes. So you see how state to state. Will the applicant transport their own property? No, that will make you a private property business owner. Will the applicant transport any passengers? No, that's like a school bus. Will the applicant provide property or household goods? No. Or hotshot truckers. No, you will not provide freight forwarder services. No, you're not a cargo tank facility. No, you're not a drive away or tow away. And for freight, you just want to have general freight selected. Now, this is important only for the guys who are for sure going to be auto hauling people. Usually I would say if you're gonna haul auto hauling most of the time, you want to put this on here. But just know if you go on here and you click autos for a vehicle type, you can undo it, but it's gonna look sketchy in insurance terms. So either you're gonna haul vehicles and do that for partial freight, or you're not. Just know you're gonna pay more for insurance hauling autos along with hauling freight because you're opening yourself up to more risk, and autos are usually a more expensive classification, right? So if you are gonna do it, you want to click this. If not, this is for my general freight haulers. You're gonna only have general freight selected. And then we'll go ahead and click next to confirm all of this. Now the vehicles tab. FMCSA needs to capture some details regarding the motor vehicles you plan to operate. So this is going to be important for the guys who are going to do non-CDL versus CDL, right? Regardless, if you're doing Hotshot, you're going to put 0 here. It's saying basically provide the number of non-commercial motor vehicles. This will be for like a cargo van or a Sprinter van to put 1, right? You guys. So since there is no dually option on here when it comes to trucks that's on here for quote unquote commercial motor vehicles, you're going to put 1 for straight trucks. So this is like the equivalent of a box truck. And then the rest you want to put 0. So I usually put 1 owned and then 0 for the rest. Don't think too hard about it. All right. And then it's going to say next. Now, this is important too. Please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles that the applicant will operate in Canada or Mexico. You want to put 0 for both. Please provide the number of CMVs that will operate solely in interstate. So this is crossing state lines. You want to put 1. This is where guys get confused and they start doing their own thing. Now it's saying, please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles that will solely be intrastate, meaning within state lines. We're going to put 0. All right. And this is what it should look like. Now it wants to know about the type of drivers. What's the number of drivers that will operate as interstate within 100 miles only? You want to put beyond 100-mile radius. This is where it's tricky too. The number of drivers who will only operate intrastate within 100 miles and beyond, you want to put 0 for both. It's tricky though. Guys will put 1 for all 4, and then at the end on Safer the next day, it's showing that they have 4 drivers, and that's why. So what's the number of guys with a CDL or valid Canadian license? You want to put 0. This is usually for non-CDL guys equipment. If you guys want to put, if you have a CDL, you can put 1 for here, but usually for non-CDL, we'll put just 0. What are the number of drivers who will operate in Canada or Mexico? 0, 0. And next. So now I want to ask, the FMCSA needs to ask a few additional questions to determine financial responsibility. That's basically just commercial insurance. So you want to be at $750K for your minimum liability. That is the standard for Hotshot trucking. And when I say that's a standard, that's the minimum that you're required to have due to the FMCSA. But as far as hauling with freight brokers, you're going to need 1 million liability. We're not going to go deep into that now. We got a whole entire section for insurance quotes, so I don't want to confuse you guys. So in the operation classification section of this application, you specify the entity will be transporting property interstate for compensation. Will any of this property getting transported be in vehicles that are greater than or equal to 10,001 pounds? So you put yes. This is what makes it $750K. FMCSA has determined that the applicant will operate for hire property carrier general freight. The company's estimated financial responsibility minimum for BIPD Liability is $750K. That means you guys have done this correctly. The FMCSA needs to capture some details regarding the entity's relationship to any other FMCSA regulated entities. So this would be for guys who have any quote unquote familial or business relationship with somebody who's already had a DOT and MC number. If you're watching this video, more than likely you are brand new, so this does not apply to you. So it's going to be pretty easy to get, approved. So this is asking right here, does the applicant currently have or has had within the last 3 years of the date of filing this application, uh, relationships involving common stock, common ownership, common management, common control, or familiar relationships with any other person or applicant for registration? No. This is the applicant's oath. There's going to be a good bit of certifications and oaths that you got to do. I like to call it signing your life away, man. This is how you sign your life away, baby. Well, you're not even gonna worry about it. So you'll just come in here, and then for title, you want to put, oh, dang it. For title, you want to put owner. Finna be some yes, I certified. Yep. Like I said, I've done this so many times now, to where I can kind of remember the order of it now. Ask me how my life is, right? Well, yeah, man, if you guys seriously, if you want a consultation, that link will be in the description. It's also on the link tree too. So if you get hung up on any steps, but like I said, at this point, it's pretty bulletproof. I've gotten better at actually making this content. So I doubt you guys are gonna have any questions. Applicants oath, same thing. Just gonna put in your name. Ooh. Owner. Next. And then I think your driver's license. Yep. So this is where you're gonna have to put your driver's license information. This is due to fraud. You're gonna have to scan this with your smartphone to start it. It doesn't usually take too long. I've literally had guys complete this within an hour, sometimes 15 minutes. So you're gonna have to scan the QR code, put your driver's license front and back on there for them to confirm your identification, and you should be fine, guys. You should be fine. So that's the FMCSA application. After that, it's gonna take you to how to pay. Let's see. And then once you pay, it's going to give you your US DOT number. Now, if you only get your DOT number, don't panic. Your MC number will be there too if you did it this way. That's the whole point of you doing the interstate application. It's just going to take 24 to 48 hours for you to be able to look that up on Safer. Okay, so you can go to safer.com, type in your DOT number, and you're going to see your MC number as well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next part of this video. All right, so the next part in this video is getting your BC3 and UCR. I've literally made videos on how to do this in 5 to 10 minutes, so this will not be a long section, but let's go ahead and hop right into it. All right, so the link for BC3 processagents.com will be in the description. So this is just the DOT number that I have on here. For example, so you'll go in, put in your DOT number. It'll already pre-fill your company name and address. Put in your email, phone number, and you want to hit next. This is where you're putting your card payment information. So if you guys want to get rich, watch this. Yep, that's my card number. Not today, suckers. Yeah, I need a life. So boom, put in your payment information. Also want to put in your initials, and guess what, guys? You'll sign right here and submit. Boom. You'll submit, and your BC3 will be processed within 24 hours, guys. So the BC3 is probably the easiest part of this entire application. And then for UCR, UCR.gov, you can see this in real time, guys. We're going to go in, we're going to put in the same DOT number. It's going to ask you to re-enter it. Oh, dang it. It's going to make you type it out. 8077 25 just for fun. Ask you to put in your first and last name. Agree. Your MC number, motor carrier. Autofill with You want to hit continue. This is if you've already done it before. Or you could do option B and manually enter it. So we'll do option A. All right. And you want to put no thank you because this will put you in like an auto renew. You want to continue. And this is where you'll come and pay. Once you pay, you'll hit continue. It's a $46 fee for 0 to 2 vehicles. If you want to see how much it is for other, vehicle amounts, for 3 to 5, it'll be this. 6 to 20, it'll be this, and so forth, right? Goodness, look at how much it is for more than 1,000 trucks. That's crazy. All right. So that's how you get your BOC3 and UCR. I know I kind of sped through it. It's not hard at all. I mean, it's pretty much common sense if you can make it to the website. Now we got the good old insurance quote form, guys. Insurance quote. So there'll be a tab right here, get trucking insurance quote in 10 minutes. It might say something a little different. And let's get it on and popping. So this is where you'll put your email. 2713. And you are a new business, right? So this is where you want to put your company name. And if you haven't had it for a long time, you'll have to manually enter in your DOT number. All right. We'll just go with this generic address. Who knows why it's Alaska right now, but this is hilarious. I guess that's the actual DOT number. We'll go for it for the video. Oh my goodness. Come and get your quote out of Alaska, huh? But yeah, I'm kind of answering these pretty quick, right? So it's going to ask you for your EIN number. When do you plan to haul loads with this company? It's going to ask you for your radius of operation. The minimum for new ventures is 500 miles. If you plan on going over the road, select unlimited. You can always start with 500 miles and go unlimited if needed later on, right? So if you want to start with 500, go ahead and do it that way. But you need a minimum of 500 miles to go active on the FMCSA with insurance. Do you have an ELD? This is if you already have it, you can put yes. If not yet, you can put no. Like I said, this is a test, so I don't want you guys to get too hung up on that. Then you want to put your date of birth, married or single. If you're a CDL driver, you'll put here. Non-CDL driver, you'll go here. You want to get when you got your driver's license. And this is when you'll put the truck. So you could put, I don't have a VIN number if you don't have the VIN yet. If you have the VIN, just put the VIN. That'll help. But if you don't have the VIN number, put 2025 Dodge. Oh, Lord. I guess you got to put Ram, right? Ram 3500. You want to put Hotshot. Put loan 50. Oh no, let's put 75,000. However much your truck is worth. Put garage and address. Then when you got your trailer, add your trailer. If you don't have it yet, you can start it off with the truck. This is the wrong equipment type. We are general freight haulers. If you're autos, you can add autos too. Then for coverages, you'll need 1 million liability, 100K for your cargo, and general liability, right? I don't want to go too deep into, every single one of these coverages. This video will be pretty long, but just for you guys, I will work on making a new insurance video just for Hotshot truckers so you can get more insights on what every single coverage actually covers. But if you read it here, it's actually gonna go over what these coverages are for, right? So next, if you have proof of prior insurance, meaning if you have personal auto insurance for at least 1 year, you'll click this and then you'll hit here. Don't leave a comment if you don't have to, and hit submit, right? And that's how you get an insurance quote. And the next section of this video, we're going to be going over ELD. What's the best ELD? So before we do that, let's quickly go into that. So an ELD is an electronic logging device. It's what's going to allow you to track your hours of service when crossing state lines, because you're required to, if you're a vehicle over 10,000 pounds, and if you travel outside of 150-mile radius within 1 day and you don't return back, you need an ELD. So 99.9% of all of you new ventures watching this video are gonna need an ELD. And the ELD is probably the biggest, well, it is the top 4 reasons why people get put out of service for the driver's inspections. So when a DOT officer pulls you over for a roadside inspection, they're going to ask for license and registration. That's usually the first thing. And then right after that, they're going to ask you to send your last 7 to 8 days of your e-logs, right? Your electronic logs. And if in any point within those 7 days, you're not accurately tracking, or you're logging personal conveyance for driving, like you're just doing a lot of sketchy stuff, you're going to get put out of service. The more you're put out of service throughout the year, the higher your insurance renewal is going to be next year, right? So you need to have a good out of service rate in order to keep your insurance premiums down, and also to book freight. If freight brokers see you're put out of service more times than not, they're not going to trust you with 100K worth of cargo with freight that needs to be there the next day. Because if I give you a load and you're put out of service and that freight needed to be there the next day, 9 a.m., and you're put out of service for 10 hours, now I'm, having to reload that truck or trailer and get that load moved if it's even possible. So that makes the broker's customers mad. It makes the people who had a crane or a forklift to get there on time, their time is now wasted, right? When you're put out of service for unnecessary things like having a good ELD. So you want to have a good ELD that's not going to malfunction. Thankfully, I am partnered with the best ELD in the country, which is Motive, right? So you'll go back to the handy dandy link tree, click Motive ELD discount, hit get started, and you want to hit trucking, next, 1 to 9 vehicles, next. And you're going to put in your company contact and phone number here, and they're going to reach out almost instantaneously. Like, these guys are pretty good as far as communication. So go ahead and fill this out real quickly. One of my agents will reach out. I'm not too sure who's over it right now. And go ahead and get Motive ELD. They are also amazing for insurance discounts. For certain carriers, you can get up to 15% discounts in your first year only with Motive. So there are going to be some guys that say, don't get Motive, go get Garmin, right? Garmin is not insurance companies don't really like Garmin, right? But you can get Garmin. You can get, a lot of guys don't like Motive because they come with a subscription, but usually you don't have to make a down payment for the equipment. So you'll just kind of pay on it throughout the year. So yeah, check out Motive. That link will be in the description, and it helps out the channel. All right, in this section of the video, we're going to go over freight factoring. Mike, what's freight factoring? The definition of freight factoring, give me 1 second. The definition of freight factoring is the action of selling your business's outstanding invoices to a factoring company for cash. This provides you with immediate cash instead of waiting for your invoices to be paid, right? That's the literal definition. So in trucking, freight is not paid based on when you deliver the load. Invoicing for freight getting paid on usually takes anywhere from 30 days to 45 days for the brokers to actually receive compensation for brokering you that load. So in that event that it takes them 45 days to get paid, how are you going to get paid quicker? That's where the factoring company comes in. They usually charge a rate anywhere from 3 to 4%. I've heard as high as 5%, depending on equipment types, for you to get paid that same day or next day. So if you don't want to wait to get paid even 3 to 5 business days, because some brokers allow uh, some freight brokers do what's called quick pay, where it takes 3 to 5 business days, but they charge the same 5%. So why not get charged a less percentage and get paid quicker by going with a reputable factoring company? Now, with that being said, on these load boards, these freight brokers are going to have credit scores, right? I can show you. All right, so we are on the load board right now. As you can see, I got Atlanta, Georgia on here for a flatbed Hotshot. Let me move myself down. You see, this is a $5,000 load right here going from Georgia to San Diego, California. If you guys want to see loads like this, right, or you want to see load board videos, make sure that you tune into the channel, because I do these videos every single week where we go over the best paying freight and the best paying areas for freight. Whereas we're using either DAT or truck stop load board. Just for this instance, I want to show for factoring, right? This is King of Freight LLC. You can see their credit score is a 97, right? Days to pay is usually 21, which is pretty good. And you can see if they factor with them, that's usually a good sign. So any credit score, really, I would say above an 85 to 90, you'll probably be in the good that factor that low. But you always want to check with your factoring company, right? So, Mike, I'm learning all of this about factoring. I got to see the freight load board, right? This is still pretty cool. See some of the highest rate per miles coming out of here. So, what's a good factoring company to work with at this current point? I am still partnered with RTS for factoring and fuel cards. So they are who I currently used. If there is ever a better deal in the market, I will be letting you guys know, but I would click them for factoring and fuel card because they do fuel card bundling, right? So you can see some of their highlights. You want to go in, put in your first name, last name, email, and then my contact Darius at RTS for factoring and Shelby for fuel cards will reach out to you. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. A lot of these guys I have actually used myself. And this is for my people who just simply want to see a timeline of success, I guess. A timeline to know, how should I start my business, Mike? Like, if I wanted to start this A to Z, can you give me some advice on how I should go about it? And this made the video shorter. You know, I was actually going to go a little deeper into details on a few other metrics, but I think this is more than enough to help you start your trucking business, guys. I really do. Um, Now calling the rental companies and stuff, this is kind of for like box trucks, but it really doesn't matter what type of equipment you have. This timeline is pretty much universal, guys. So I took a lot of time to make this video, um, and I enjoyed making it. So if you guys enjoyed this video just as much as I enjoyed making it, it only makes sense that you like this video. You comment down either what you want to see next. Comment down thank you. Comment down some emojis. Comment down the type of truck or trailer you're looking at. Comment down the city and state you're watching from. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.